to yoga. We're going to do some morning movement today, help you to get your day started, or really this practice can be used anytime that you feel like you want a little bit of a restart, or maybe to pick your energy up and kind of get you moving in another direction so that you can build some energy and feel awake and invigorated for whatever it is you have to take on. So I'm super glad you're here. Thanks for coming by. It's awesome to be able to share this with you so easily with so few things. Just really grateful for being able to reach out and share the practice in this way. So let's start by coming into a comfortable seated position. I'm sitting on a block. You may want to add some height underneath your hips in the form of a block or a bolster if that allows you to sit more comfortably. You don't have to sit cross-legged or in Sukhasana or any variation thereof. If that's uncomfortable for you, you can sit on your shins with your butt resting on your heels, or really anywhere that's comfortable and will allow you to sit comfortably with a relatively upright, neutral spine. And we'll just start by allowing our hands to come anywhere that's comfortable on our laps. Close your eyes. And if you find that closing your eyes creates some anxiety in your body, you can just lower your lids and let your gaze spread out as you drop your eyes down toward the floor. And then feel your sits bones resting on the floor or on the prop. Check to make sure that you're balanced left to right. If you feel any gripping in your low belly, see if you can let that go, let your belly hang. And then lift your chest slightly. Feel your shoulder blades sliding down the back. Your shoulders just moving underneath your ears as you lift up through the crown of the head. I don't want to feel like we're falling forward or backward. Just allowing the spine to stack in a way that feels balanced. Soften through your jaw. Let your tongue come down from the roof of your mouth. And start to bring your attention to the sounds that you can hear in your environment. Beginning with the most obvious sound, which is the sound of my voice. And maybe anything else you can hear through the recording. Perhaps you can hear the birds outside my window, or perhaps there are birds outside your window. Maybe you can hear the sound of air blowing through your vents, the hum of electrical equipment. Maybe you can hear the sounds of traffic or people outside. Whatever it is, just allow yourself to reach out with your listening faculty. Just noticing the texture of the sounds. And then see if you can turn that listening faculty inward. Start to listen to the sounds inside your own body. At first, you may not hear much, but if you listen closely, you may start to hear some sounds in your inner ear. Maybe you can hear your heart in your chest. Maybe you can hear some subtle sounds in your head and your mouth as everything slows down and softens. Now feel your physical body, the places where your body's making contact with the mat or the prop. Feel the sensation of your clothes resting on your skin. And feel the temperature of the air on your skin. Start to notice your breathing. First at your belly, the rise and fall of your abdomen, and then at the tip of your nose, feeling the sensations of the air moving in and out through your nose. And then start to notice your mind. What thoughts are present? Doing your best not to invite any particular thoughts to come or push any thoughts away. Just observing. Now bring your palms together in prayer position, Anjali Mudra at the level of your heart. And take a moment to check in with your Sankalpa. Your intention for the practice today. And what do you need from today's practice to bring you into a state of balance or harmony? What do you need in your body and in your energetic body and in your mind? And then where do you hope the practice will take you in the long run? And if you can, formulate this part of your desire, your heart's desire, as a simple declarative sentence in the present tense. I am pure awareness. I am loving kindness. I am whole, healthy, and free. Whatever it is for you that expresses that vector of your true nature along which you want your life energy to flow. Go ahead and find the words for yourself. An affirmation, reminding yourself of who you already are. Trusting that this practice will serve your highest intention. We'll seal that intention and set the context for the rest of practice by chanting the Shantipat from the Yajurveda. The translation of this Shantipat is, may we be protected, may we be nourished, may we work together with great energy, may our study together be brilliant and effective, and may there be no animosity among us. Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bonakto Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasve Navate Tamasto Mavidvishavahai Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Slowly opening your eyes. Go ahead and let your hands come down to your lap. We'll come over into a tabletop position. Moving any props off to the side. Bring your wrists below your shoulders, your knees below your hips. Your tops of your feet can be flat on the mat, or you can curl your toes under. And from here, let's just make some circles with the hips. So begin by moving your hips in a circle around your knees. It doesn't have to be a huge circle to start. Just see if you can focus on making a really good felt connection with the movement. Make each repetition of the circle a little smoother than the last. And as you move, feel free to explore the movement, maybe adding in some additional movement for your wrists, your fingers, your elbows, your head and your neck. And then let's switch directions. And if you want to add some flexion and extension for the spine, maybe adjust your feet a little as you move. Start to notice what's happening in your body, what's at stake today, what seems to be talking to you right now. Good, and then coming back to neutral on your exhalation, sink your hips down towards your heels, extend your fingers out a little bit further, pop up onto your fingertips, and just kind of claw your mat, creating a little traction in the shoulders, some length. Continuing with your breathing practice. And then on your next inhalation, shift forward into neutral table, look forward past the front of the mat, maybe dropping your hips down toward the mat to come into a modified up dog shape. And then exhale your way back towards child's pose. Keep breathing and just keep moving. And as you breathe and as you move, maybe starting to add that Ujjayi pranayama if you have it in your practice. The slight constriction at the back of your throat so that you can hear the air moving in and out through your throat as you breathe through your nose. Slowly waking up the spine, waking up the breath, making each movement a little smoother than the last. And then on your next exhalation, let's return to your neutral table. Walk your hands off your mat to the right, and then once your hands are off the mat, sink your hips back down towards your heels. They might not reach all the way. You want to create that isometric drag to create a little length on the left side of the body in particular. And then once you've kind of found that length, go ahead and shift your shoulders up and down, alternating right and left, shifting your whole torso as if you were trying to press one armpit and then the other down toward the floor. And just kind of move this way. And then coming back up, we'll switch to the other side. So walk your hands off to the left. And then once you've extended your arms off to the left side of your mat, start to just drop your hips down towards your heels. Feel that lengthening in the right side body, the right shoulder, the right side of your rib cage. And then go ahead and alternate a little bit, just kind of rocking
your torso side to side. First one armpit, and then the other moves towards the floor. And then settling into stillness for a breath or two. And before you come back to center.
Alright, so once you've found your tabletop back on the mat, move your hands, one hand put in front of where they're at, curl your toes under, press yourself back to downward facing dog. Might feel good to lengthen out the back of the legs, pedal out your feet, shift your hips side to side a little bit. Exploring, continuing with your breathing. And then from here, let's shift forward into plank. Shoulders over the wrists. Charge with the legs. Engage the pubic bone by tucking the tailbone under slightly. Spread your shoulder blades across your upper back. Just building a little heat in the body. Alright, then on your next exhalation, let's lower all the way down to the mat with control, either in plank or knees, chest, chin. And on your next exhalation, slide your right arm out to the side, palm facing down, roll to the right. And then inhale back to center, return your right hand, and on your exhalation, left hand extends, palm facing down, roll to your left. And continue moving in this way with your own breath. Trying to make the breath nice and smooth and even. Trying to make the movement a little smoother and more connected with each repetition. And once you've done both sides an equal number of times, let's come back to neutral. Slide your hands out in front of the mat. Draw your elbows in and press down through your hands. Lift your chest. You can see my elbows are just slightly off the ground. So I'm not quite in Sphinx pose. It's more like a modified cobra shape. You can allow your belly to drop, lengthen out through the crown of the head. And feel the shoulder blades slide down the back. Let's go ahead and lower back down, slide your hands back down so the heels of your hands are about level with your lower ribs. And then press yourself back up into your neutral table, curl your toes under and return to downward facing dog. And breathe in here. And then on your next exhalation, walk your feet up towards your hands. We'll meet in a bent knee forward fold. Bend your knees enough that you can feel your rib cage making good contact with your thighs. Release the crown of your head. And then on your next inhalation, let's come all the way up to standing. Sweep your arms out and up. Palms face one another. Maybe they come to touch. And then exhale, mountain pose. Right. Inhale, reach up. And then exhale, fold. Hinge the hips, bend your knees. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. And then on your exhalation, let's shoot your left foot back. Bring your left knee and the top of your left foot down to the mat. And on your next exhalation, go ahead and shift your hips back for Ardha Hanumanasana. So, as you come into your Ardha Hanumanasana, left hip is sacked over the left knee, right hip is pulling back into space, flex through your right foot. And it might feel good to move your right foot side to side, moving from the hip, so that you feel the head of your femur, your big leg bone, moving inside your hip socket. So we initiate this movement all the way from what we might think of as the base of the leg where it attaches to the hip. Good, all right, and coming back to neutral, let's rock forward into this supported lunging position. We'll ground down through the left hand. Bring your right hand to the top of your thigh. Take a twist, press down through the top of your thigh. Look up toward the ceiling. Continue lengthening, continue breathing. Good, and then on your exhalation, go ahead and drop your right hand outside your right foot. Step your back foot up to meet the left. Inhale, half lift. Find your flat back. And on your exhalation, bend your knees, bring your hands to the mat. Shoot your right foot back. Right knee, top of the right foot, come down. Shift your hips back. Walk your hands back. Find your half splits on the other side. Right hip over the right knee. Body's over the middle of the mat. Grab some blocks for your hands if that will help you to lengthen your spine. Flex through your left foot. Draw your left hip back in space. And then maybe window wipering the foot a few times. Initiating the movement from the hip. Nice and slow. Still breathing. Alright, and then coming back forward. Let's find that twist on the other side. Right hand grounds down, left hand comes to the top of your left thigh. Press down through the heel of your left hand. Use that feeling of pressing down through your hands to find more length in your torso, length through your hip flexor, in the front of your right thigh. Keep the neck long as you gaze up toward the ceiling. Tucking the chin in slightly, and as always, if it feels bad in the twist to look up at the ceiling, just look back down, or maybe look more toward the horizon. All right, on your exhalation, let's go ahead and release your left hand down to the mat. Step your back foot up to meet the front. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, mountain pose. All right, let's do a few rounds of Surya Namaskar A. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold into the hips, bend your knees. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. And then on your exhalation, bend your knees and step or hop back into plank. And lower down. Inhale, cobra, or maybe up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take a resting breath here. And at the bottom of your next exhalation, bend your knees and step or hop your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift, lengthen the spine. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, mountain pose. Let's do a few more. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees, plant the hands, step or hop back as you lower down. Inhale, cobra or up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. On your next exhalation, bend the knees, step or hop forward. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, reach up. Exhale, mountain pose. Last time here. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, half lift. Exhale, bend the knees. Hop back into plank as you lower down. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, downward facing dog. Breathe in here. On your next exhalation, let's go ahead and step or hop your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, half lift. This time when you exhale, bring your left hand down, bend through your left knee, and we'll take a twist to the right. Right hand can come to your sacrum. And then exhale, switch. Right hand below the chin, right knee bends. The left hand comes to the sacrum. And then just keep moving this way with your own breath. Each time you exhale, switch sides. Take an inhale in the twist. And then repeat to the other side. Once you completed an equal number to both sides, inhale, come all the way up to standing. Reach up for the ceiling. Palms come to touch. Let's weave the fingers together and then invert the palms. Press them up towards the ceiling. Slide your shoulders and your shoulder blades down the back. Tuck the chin. Lift up through the crown of the head. Feel that space between your ears and your shoulders. Space between your sternum and your navel, lengthening. Good, and then exhale, let's side bend over to the right. Inhale back to center. And then exhale over to the left. Inhale back to center. A few more times on your own.
both sides an equal number of times. Release your arms back down to your sides. Step open into a wide-legged stance. Bring your hands to your hips. Take an inhalation, lift your chest. And on your exhalation, going forward fold, slide your hands down your legs. You can reach for your ankles as you come into Prasarita Padottanasana. Maybe slide your hands down to your feet. Release the crown of your head. Continue breathing here. Let's find your half lift, so come halfway up with your torso and then walk both of your hands over to the right. You have lots of options here if you like to grab for your right foot or your right leg in some way. Maybe sliding your hands to the outside of your right foot. You go ahead and give that a go. Otherwise you can leave your hands on the mat. Really any combination here that feels good for you. You can slide your right hand around or left hand around the back of your right Achilles. Take a little twist. And then coming back through center, walk your hands over to the left. And again, play around with your hand placement. Try to find a position that's going to serve you. Remembering your intention for your day, for your practice. And then coming back through center, let's come all the way up to standing. Extend your arms out to the side. Let's turn the palm of your right hand up toward the ceiling. Turn the palm of your left hand back toward the wall behind you so your thumb's pointing down. Drop your right ear over toward your right shoulder. Extend the arms. And then inhale, center with the head. Switch the hands. Exhale over to the left. Left ear comes to the left shoulder. Reach, reach, reach. Keep moving this way. Gone to both sides an equal number of times. Go ahead and release your hands back down toward your hips. Heel toe your feet until they're about one of your own leg lengths apart. Turn your toes out to the sides at about a 45-degree angle and sit down for horse or goddess pose. Weave your fingers together, press your palms down toward the floor, sit a little bit lower, inhale, reach up. And then exhale, sit a little lower, press the energy out. Keep moving this way. Let's turn the toes of your right foot to face the front of the mat. Bring the outer edge of your left foot down to the mat, building warrior 2 here. Keeping the right knee in line with the toes of the right foot. Pressing down through the outer edge of the left foot. Breathing here. Alright, then inhale. Let's straighten through the front leg. Weave your fingers together behind your low back. Lift the chest. Exhale. Right hip glides. Left hip and left shoulder right back. Breathing here. Armless variation of Utthita Trikonasana. And then after a couple of breaths, release the mind. Let your right hand develop somewhere down below your left knee, left arm extends up toward the ceiling. All right, inhale, come on back up. Let's switch to the other side. Left toes face the short edge of your mat. Left knee stacked over the left ankle. Knee in the same direction as the toes. Outer edge of the right foot grounding down. Strong back leg, sinking the hips. Keeping the torso stacked. Straight up and down over the pelvis. Continue breathing. Straight. Weave the fingers together behind the back. Flip your grips the other pinkies on the bottom. Lift the chest. Exhale. Left hip glides. Right hip and right shoulder right back. Keep the chin tucked. Head stays in line. Continue breathing. And then when you're ready, you can let the left arm develop somewhere down below the left knee. Right arm reaches up for the ceiling. Fit the head and neck in. Inhale back up to standing. Let's go ahead and turn your toes to face the long edge of your mat. Pivot them in just slightly. Bring your hands to your hips. Inhale, lift the chest, lift the heart. Exhale, forward fold. Prasarita Padottanasana. This time, bring your hands down to the floor to start. Release the crown of your head. And let's walk our hands back so that your fingers are pointing in the same direction as your heels. Continue breathing. Let's go ahead and come all the way back up to standing, and then we'll step back to the front of the mat. Take your feet a little wider than your hips. We'll sit down for Malasana, deep squat. Breathing here. You can do whatever you like with your hands. You can let them rest on your knees like I'm doing. You can bring them to Anjali Mudra. You can bring them down to the floor. Let's try to allow your tailbone to sink down. Taking a lot of weight on your heels. Remember to widen your stance. Walk your feet out a little bit if you have trouble getting your heels down. You can also slide a blanket or another prop underneath your heels. Or you can even perch on the balls of your feet if that's where you're at today. Alright, then from here, let's go ahead and walk your hands back onto the mat and shift back so that you've got about equal distance space between your hips and your heels and your hips and your hands. You can turn your fingertips out to face the long edges of your mat. And then press down through your feet. Lift your hips off the mat, just barely off the mat, maybe an inch off the mat. And then press your chest up and take your gaze to the horizon. So lifting the chest, feeling the shoulder blades rolling down the back. Continue breathing here. If this is too much weight, you can keep your hips on the ground and still just focus on lifting the chest. Good, and then on your inhalation, press your hips up towards the ceiling, engage the glutes, the back of your legs, and then exhale, lower down. And just do a few rounds like that, adjusting your stance if you need it. Inhaling up. And exhaling back down. Next time you lower your hips down, let's come down onto your back. Bring your palms down flat on the mat. Take your knees a little bit wider, and then your hips. Bring your arms out to the side, and on your exhalation, just let both of your knees drop over to the right, and then inhale back to center, and then exhale both the knees over to the left, and then inhale back to center. And just keep moving this way. Next time you come back to center, press your low back down into the mat, pick up your feet, bring your hands to your knees and make some circles with your knees. And then switch directions. And then coming back to neutral, let's go ahead and let your feet come down to the mat and then bring the soles of your feet together for Supta Baddha Konasana, reclined bound angle. And bring your arms out to the sides, comfortable distance from your hips, maybe palms turn up towards the ceiling. Take a few breaths here. If it feels good on the shoulders to reach overhead, you can reach for the wall behind you, maybe even grab for the opposite elbow with your hand.
Let's go ahead and release down into Shavasana, your final rest. Extend your legs. Grab any props that you need. And then when you're ready, find your way into your final resting pose, making sure that you're warm and comfortable and feel like you're laying really flat on the mat. If you'd like to stay here a little bit longer, feel free to pause the recording. And if you're ready to start to exit your Shavasana, begin by lengthening your breath, extending the inhalations, making them a little deeper, more full, lengthening out the exhalations. When you feel ready to move, start with your fingers, your toes, your wrists, your ankles, and then slowly find your way up to a comfortable seat. You can grab your prop to sit on if you need it. And then once you find your comfortable seat, we'll practice a few rounds, probably 2 rounds of Kapalabhati followed by some Nadi Shodhana. So Kapalabhati is a form of pranayama. Actually, it's a Shatkarma cleansing technique where we focus on a short, sharp exhalation and a passive inhalation through the nose. As you breathe out, you'll feel your pelvic floor engage and your low belly draw in. Most of the rest of your body should stay relatively still. It's a short, sharp, quick breath. So if you find that it's difficult for you to find your inhalation, you're probably not allowing the air to come back in after each exhalation. It may not look like I'm breathing out, but I am. So here's what it looks like. So we'll do a few rounds like that. I'll probably count at about 40 to myself. You can move a little faster or a little slower than me, and remember, if you start to feel lightheaded or something feels awkward about it, just either pause and come back to it or drop it all together. All right, so we'll start with a normal inhalation. Inhale. Kapalabhati, begin. Inhale. Hold the air in. chest, lift up through the crown of the head, and bring your attention to the space between your eyebrows and hold the air in until you feel like you want to release the breath. And then when you do, just let the air come back out through your nose and resume your normal pattern of breathing. All right, we'll do one more round like that. Inhale. Kapalabhati begin. Inhale. Hold the breath in. Bring your attention to the space between your eyebrows. And then when you feel like you want to release the breath, release the breath. Return to your normal pattern of breathing. Taking your right hand, let's bring the index finger and the middle finger to the base of your thumb, and then turn your palm to face your nose. So we're going to use the ring finger to block off your left nostril and just letting the thumb rest on the edge of use your ring finger to block off your left nostril, and then use your thumb, just let your thumb rest on the edge of your right nostril. So I said that right, blocking off the left with the ring finger, using the thumb to rest on the outside of your right nostril. We're going to inhale through the right nostril, just slow and steady, a normal inhalation. And then blocking off the right nostril with your thumb, open your left nostril and let the air come out through your left nostril. And then inhaling through the left nostril. Block off left, open right, exhale right. And just keep moving in this way with your breath. Switching the nostril after each inhalation. Try to keep the breath smooth, silent, slow. once you've completed the next round, exhaling through your right nostril to complete the cycle, go ahead and release your hand back down to your lap. Release the technique. And bring your palms together in prayer position, Anjali Mudra, the level of your heart. We'll take one final moment for the practice of gratitude, bringing into your heart and into your mind whatever it is that you feel grateful for. And seeing if you can connect with those things so that you can feel that feeling of gratitude in your physical body. Taking a moment one more time to recall your sankalpa. And set an intention to continue moving harmoniously along your path in the direction of your awakening. And close by chanting Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. The first Shanti, which means peace, is for ourselves. The second is for our communities. And the third is for all beings everywhere. Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thanks for sharing your practice today, everyone. Namaste. I hope you have an awesome day. I hope you take full advantage of whatever it is that's in front of you today. And I hope to see you again soon. Feel free to leave any questions you have in the comments below, and be well.